to the single microphone show where we have technical difficulties and we'll be using one very obvious microphone.
I wish we could show you what the camera looks like right now because there's a charger cord with a charging block hanging. Maybe Willie will take a picture and insert it.
We're struggling
right
today,
here.
folks. But we're gonna make it.
And we'll have to learn that we can't talk over each other.
Yeah, one at a time, very deliberate.
And you know where people do like to talk over each other?
Right here on the post.
No, about Revelation.
Oh. Did Levi talk over people this week?
No, I'm just thinking about how in Revelation, or when people talk about Revelation, it usually gets very heated.
Oh, yes, that is true. It is a controversial book.
And people like to make a lot of opinions and give their opinions about what they think is happening in Revelation.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Which Levi did this Sunday.
He definitely did this Sunday. He opened up a lot.
Yes, he really did. And I can't help but feel like I'm interviewing you, even though I'm not interviewing you.
Like a little bit.
What do you think Levi said about Revelation this week?
Was
he creating fear?
I was very afraid.
No, I think that gets to a point of what Levi was trying not to do, which was to take away so much of the fear that is inappropriately attached to Revelation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think that some healthy fear is good. Do you agree?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I think it's important for us to fear God and also fear the consequences of our sin, which is so much what people are afraid of when they're reading Revelation. And if you attended church in person, you hopefully picked up one of these things, which is a little sermon aid and overview, guidebook of the next 7 weeks now of the Revelation series. And so if you...
Great place for taking notes, by the way.
Yes, and if you are watching online and you would like for us to send you one, we will happily do that. So please send us a message and we will mail you one. This is for week 2, which is going to be about Jesus and the church. But one of the main things that Levi talked about was fear of missing the rapture, which is a theological thought, is kind of what he was getting at, right?
Yeah, and he even shared that he grew up in a church where it was doctrine that was preached on Sundays, that the rapture is going to happen. There's a specific date. And he, of course, shared a lot of other examples of the LDS church and others that have guessed at what date it's going to happen, and obviously they've been wrong. And he even went on to say that there was a specific moment in elementary school where he went to the bathroom and came back to class and thought everybody had been raptured except for him.
Yes, and so his main point with this is that if we read Revelation and we read the Bible, we will understand fully that the rapture is not something that you can miss.
Right.
That Christians and non-Christians alike will not miss that the rapture is happening. But we all have left behind to thank for the thought process that we will miss the rapture. Willie, I don't think has ever seen that movie because he did not grow up. And now that I say that I grew up in a Christian home, I feel like now my parents would probably say that they shouldn't have shown us Left Behind. There was not a lot of positive aspects that came out of it.
Hindsight, am I right, parents?
But that, I feel was responsible, especially in the early 2000s, for really instilling a lot of fear and a lot of desire to try to figure it out, which I think is kind of what Levi was getting at. One of the things that I wrote down in this little booklet was that Jesus is not trying to add mystery to, right. And God's not trying to add mystery to when the rapture is going to happen. And everything that is in Revelation has a purpose, and it's to bring us clarity. And he has put in there everything that he wants us to know. And everything that's not in there, he doesn't want us to know. And it's not our job to know it.
Exactly, and I appreciated that Levi spent so much time reading from Matthew and not actually the book of Revelation
to get read from Revelation at all.
The actual words from Jesus about what's going to happen. These were his followers asking him questions, the same questions that we have today. about how it's going to go down, and he does a great job of laying it all out. So dig into that. It's not just the book of Revelation that talks about the end times.
Yes, and I think that more than anything, Levi was attempting to, and I think he did a very good job of setting the scene of why we are studying Revelation, why it's important, and what it's not. And what it's not trying to create or instill in us as a Christian body of people. And so I think that that's really important going into learning about the rest of Revelation, because as Willie said, we didn't read any of Revelation on Sunday. So we haven't actually gotten into what can tend to be scary with the horsemen and, the fires and all the things and the dragons and all the scary stuff. So I think this is a great just way to remember and keep it in your mind, like that Jesus is always trying to add clarity, not mystery, and that Revelation is not something to be feared.
And as Brian did such a good job of explaining to us 2 weeks ago, is that all these numbers, there's so much symbolism within the book of Revelation and throughout the Bible as a whole. And that's a really important thing to decode, because it seems so mysterious upon first read, but in reality, it's very clear and it's beautifully laid out.
Yes.
In such a creative way.
Well, thanks for bearing with us this singular mic situation. We'll try to get it sorted out for next time.
We'll see you next week, folks.
Bye.